From the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know at the News You Trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution. I'm Joel Penorwood with your farm news and markets as we round out the day here on Tuesday. Hey, don't forget, on tomorrow's midday programs, our own Matt Reese visits with Lorain County soybean producers Eric and Adele Flynn to discuss their involvement with Grow Next Gen, a project of the Ohio Soybean Council and Soybean Checkoff. Tune in to learn more. And Muskingum Livestock is having a special weaned and vaccinated calf sale coming up December 11th. Call Denny for more information, 740-819-5120. Again, Muskingum Livestock special weaned and vaccinated calf sale tomorrow, 740-819-5120. And also coming tomorrow, cold weather. Let's take a quick check of that as we hear from Ryan Martin.
Colder air on the move in the northern plains. That spells a cold midweek for Ohio. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at the Ohio Ag Weather Update. Quick look here. For the rest of this afternoon, still dealing with some hit-and-miss scattered showers over southeastern parts of the state. Meanwhile, we've got clouds and sun in the northwest. Colder air is going to really start to force its way in overnight tonight. Brutally cold for tomorrow, Thursday, and early Friday. Strong winds creating low wind chills, also creating some lake effect potential. Most of us just seeing clouds off the Great Lakes, but near the lake shore, of course, Lake Erie, we'll see some lake effect snow with accumulations. Be prepared for that. I cannot stress enough the magnitude of the shift in temperatures. Brutal cold air here, below zero pushes Wednesday and Thursday nights. I'm meteorologist Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. That full update on that cold blast coming in online at ohioagnet.com. Weather brought to you by Seed Consultants. USDA released its final World Ag Supply and Demand Estimates report of 2024 earlier today. Ended up being a bullish one for corn. We'll talk a little bit more about its market impact later in the program. Our own Doug Tenney of Lice Mercantile recaps that for us at ohioagnet.com. Announced increases in corn demand projections, with exports up 150 million bushels and ethanol use up 50 million bushels. Wheat exports also saw a boost of 25 million bushels. Despite the positive news, though, market reactions were subdued initially, with corn up just 3 cents shortly after the report's release. U.S. ending stock estimates for 24 and 25 showed corn at 1.738 billion bushels, down from last month's 1.938 billion. Soybeans remained unchanged at 470 million bushels, while wheat dropped slightly to 795 million bushels. Brazil and Argentina's crop estimates also steady, reflecting favorable weather conditions down that way. Globally, Brazil has nearly completed planting its corn and soybeans, with expectations of increased production. Meanwhile, rumors swirling about China canceling several U.S. soybean shipments, though it remains unconfirmed. As year-end approaches, thin volumes on the Chicago Board of Trade and heightened producer spending to optimize taxes are likely to shape market activity for the rest of this calendar. USDA announced last week a new national milk testing strategy that's fairly radical as part of their efforts to prevent the spread of the H5N1 virus in dairy cattle. We're hearing more about that this week as Julie Gother of the Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service talks about the steps in that new strategy.
Stage 1 starts with monitoring the large tanks, silos at milk processing facilities. We'll be asking dairy regulators, dairy inspectors to sample milk at these processing facilities from each silo that contains milk intended for pasteurization, a screening stage that we want to put in place all across the country. Stage 2 is something that a state can decide to use to fast track them to demonstrate unaffected status or identify that state as being affected with this virus in their dairy herd. Not only is the state conducting surveillance, but they're also putting in measures to respond quickly and prevent movement of that virus to other herds while that dairy is recovering from the infection. Once a state has conducted enough significant testing to demonstrate that there is no virus present, then they can be moved to an unaffected status. Once we get all the states in the country at stage 4, we can conduct at least 90 days of surveillance in order to demonstrate to the world that the U.S. is free of this virus in dairy herds.
Up to this point, USDA has not been ultra successful in curtailing the spread of H5N1 in dairy cattle, which made its appearance on dairy farms earlier this year. And stay tuned, we'll take a look at closing market numbers, see how things shaped up in Chicago when we return on the Ohio AgNet.
Since 1926, Nationwide has been rooted in agriculture. Founded as the Farm Bureau Mutual Automobile Insurance Company with a mission to protect farmers and their communities, we honor our legacy by offering solutions that evolve with the complex needs of today's farms. As the leading insurer of America's farms and trusted by 8 farm bureaus for 100 years and counting, Nationwide is on your side. Number one insurer based on 2023 direct written premium per AM Best. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
USDA's cut of U.S. corn ending stocks by 200 million bushels ended up being a pretty favorable day for corn, responding a little bit more here at close than it did initially. New crop corn up 6.5 to 440.5. March corn up 7.25 to 449. Soybeans for January up 4 3/4 to 9.94 3/4, while March beans up 4 3/4 as well to $10.25. July wheat 3 3/4 cents up to $5.77 per bushel. This check of markets brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance. Online at seedconsultants.com. The livestock side seeing a good day for cattle. December cattle up $2 and a nickel to $189.85. March feeders $2.25 upward to $257.45. And hogs for December 3 cents higher to $82.93, while February falling $1.93 to $84.58. Milk Class 3 for January down 16 cents to $19.21. I'm Joel Norwood for the Ohio AgNet.